How we doing, guys? Are we all right? Yes, everyone had a lovely day? No? All right, fair enough. I've done fuck all today. It's been nice. I do fuck all most days. I'm as unemployed as I look. It's great. I'm just hanging around the house most days. I'm around during the day when the cold callers come round. I freak them out. It's the only person I've spoken to all day. I'm way too excited to speak to them. Like, they come round, I'm like, fellas, let's talk about Jesus for as long as you want. This happened the other day. This young lad comes around. He's working for Oxfam. Comes to the door, knocks on the door. As I go to answer it, I open up the door to say hello to him, and there's just this cloud of weed smoke comes billowing out the flat. And I'm wearing a Batman dressing gown. And I'm blaring drum and bass at 2 PM. And he just looks me up and down. He goes, you know what? You seem busy. I'll leave you to it. I'm like, absolutely. Leave me to my business. I'm a businessman. My flatmate is a 70-year-old man. That's a weird amount of support for that, miss, but I appreciate that. It's very weird. It's just me and him in the flat. I'm 31. He's 70 years old. I feel like neither of us should be in this situation. I feel like at this point in my life, it's reasonable. I should be able to afford my own place. And he's 70 years old. He shouldn't need me to pay half of his rent. I feel like we're a warning from the past and the future at the same time for one person. Just sort of stuck in a time vortex in East London. I sometimes worry if we ever touch fingertips, we'll both disappear. I understand it's weird, most people, you live with people roughly your own age. It wasn't intentional, just found a guy on spare room, didn't know what I was going to get. Go around, look at the place, this little old guy answers the door, and I took one look at him and I thought, I probably shouldn't go live with this guy, that seems like a stupid idea. And then he changes my mind immediately because he doesn't show me around the flat at all. He just walks me out into the garden. He handed me a pint of Guinness and he proceeded to talk to me about acid for 20 minutes. Which, I don't know about you guys, but he nailed that bit of marketing. I left that place with a spare key, a pound of hash cake, and a relationship akin to a sugar daddy. I just want to make it very clear, that last one is a joke. We're not fucking, that's not part of the deal. He drinks a lot, which is fair. I don't drink anymore, but I think it's pretty obvious I used to. I don't know if anyone... Thank you. One person got that. Rest of you catch up. All right. I don't drink, which I understand, I'm from here. I know most people in this country are not very supportive of people not drinking. I understand that. Like, when I was very early days in it, I was very excited about it. And I came on stage in a packed show, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 3 months sober. And there's just this deathly silence in the room. And then one lady at the front just goes, oh, that's a shame. So fucking English, isn't it? I don't know what it is about this country, but you try and make any small improvement to your life and everyone's like, oh, you think you're fucking better than me? It's like, yeah, obviously I think I'm better than you. And to be fair, you're right not to applaud or anything, because I'm still taking every drug available. I just quit one. That's how you do that. It's quite common. Most people aren't aware of that. And I'm not going crazy on it. Like, I smoke weed. I think that's fair. I think it's pretty common, And I'll do drugs every now and again. But when I do drugs now, I do what they call microdosing, which, if you're not aware of that, is the very novel idea of just taking a small amount of drugs. Apparently, we needed a word for that. It kind of falls into two different camps, right? It's what a lot of people are doing, where they're taking a small amount of a psychedelic, something like mushrooms, very tiny amount, it's barely perceivable, it's working some of that at the back of your brain. That's what a lot of people are doing. And then there's what I'm doing, where I'm looking at a very small bump of MDMA, and I'm like, is this enough to ruin a family barbecue? And sometimes it is. Sometimes you get that wrong, you have a very intense conversation with your cousin, that's just the game we play. It's quite a fashionable thing to do at the moment, like microdosing, I like telling people I'm doing it. I'm at a party, I see someone I haven't seen in a while, they're like, what are you up to nowadays, David? I go, I'm microdosing nowadays. And they always say something like, oh, I've heard that's really good for you. So that's not why I'm doing it. I'm just doing it to get high. I think that's fine, isn't it? It's always that, though. I've heard that's really good. Where have you heard that? Medical professional? Scientific journal? Nah, always the same place. The Joe Rogan Experience, but that's fine. It's good enough for Joe, it's good enough for Dave. I've always said that. It's just drugs in moderation. I don't know why we have to overcomplicate the idea. Drugs in moderation, I think that's quite a simple concept. And I think that's what I can do at this point in my life. I can handle that. It doesn't bother me. A little bit of something. Don't feel the need to take it much further. And it's weird that I can handle that, but I can't handle it with one other substance. Like, I can't drink in moderation. I know that from experience. But what I can do in moderation is Class A narcotics. What an odd thing to discover about yourself. Like, I can't handle one glass of wine, but I can comfortably handle one line of cocaine. And judging by that reaction, this is not a cocaine crowd. If you're not aware.